Hello, I'm Dr. Tuepenz.
And I am Gaplord.
Together, we are
the Juice Crew Villains.
I had to hold that pop my lip thing in.
Pop your lip.
That's because I'm playing with my daughter, though. And she be having me just...
I got 3 of them. I can pop my lips.
I'm still hungover. I'm still hungover. I'm still hungover. I'm still hungover. Sometimes I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Make my sandwich with the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I have to park. I know exactly how this ends, but I have to start. I still come over. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life, and I'm not living it right, but I don't give a damn.
Hello, everyone. I am Gaplord, and today we're going to talk about another very important topic. Don't get in your feels. But is environmental racism, is it a real thing or another attempt to make minorities victims? Let me just say that again. Environmental racism, is it a real thing or another attempt to make minorities feel like victims? And first of all, let's just get a definition of what environmental racism is. And I'm going to go to the professional, Dr. Tuepenz, and get his opinion. Well, it's his definition or the definition for environmental racism.
Thank you, Reverend. This is a serious topic, and I hope you guys are ready. So, environmental racism is a concept in the environmental justice movement, which developed in the United States throughout the 1970s and 1980s. The term is used to describe environmental injustice that occurs within a racialized context, both in practice and policy.
That's the definition?
That's what they call it. Let me see what the real. That's
so,
let me
do you have any examples of what environmental injustices is?
Man, Miss Ivana Ramirez from Yes Magazine, shout out to them. She came up with an article this year, and it has a few things in here that are very interesting. But I definitely beg to differ. But some of the reasons that they say environmental racism is real, they say living amid industry can affect mental health, and they're saying that because people that live, they put dumps and stuff in poor communities and things of that nature, and that can lead to mental health. Which yeah, probably so, but we always gotta ask the whys of these situations. Like, why is this happening? Why? I'm trying to keep a straight face and say because I want to get through a couple more before we start talking about the whys.
That's all.
I want to hit a couple more.
I want to ask why so bad, but okay.
We know why.
So
it's only one answer.
So let's go to the
But
next
anyway, number 2 reason they say is areas with higher temperatures within cities are the same areas that were segregated decades ago.
Hold on, say that again.
Areas. What I say? Areas with higher temperatures within cities are the same areas that were segregated decades ago.
Was that? Okay. So, huh? Okay.
Areas in your city, in every major city in America that have the highest temperatures are areas that were segregated from insegregation or desegregation. What were they doing?
So black people had high temperatures.
Yeah.
Was that?
And it was because these areas were segregated decades ago because of the segregation. They said
because all that black power, because all this power from black, our melanin,
melanin is attracting it.
Who woke?
Who woke? Y'all don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, y'all ain't that woke.
Energy.
That's why that. Okay.
So we figured that one out for y'all. Now this is the one that's probably. This is the one that just. I might stop right here, but environmental racism is a leading cause of death in communities of color.
Hold on. What neighborhood?
I'll just read. Okay.
Because my neighborhood ain't like that.
Let's see what she has to say about it. So, let me get the mic. Many factors threaten the well-being of minority communities, such as discriminatory policing. Oh shit. Policing. Is that policing or policing?
Policing.
Okay.
I can't see it.
Okay. Discriminatory policing. And housing availability. But environmental discrimination is actually a main cause of mortality for these residents. Air pollution and extreme heat are killing inner city residents at a higher rate than almost all other causes, Scientific American reported. And as average temperatures continue to rise, contributing to what scientists call the urban heat island effect, death and illness from the effects of climate change are expected to rise further.
Just because of the black neighborhood.
Hey, what McCain say? Summertime, sun go down.
So
sun go down. Niggas act crazy.
Mama pray for your baby when sunrise and sunset.
That summertime.
It's hot right
so
now,
that's
but
crazy. So is it like, why is it all? So is it like global warming where black people are?
I guess so. Basically, they're not saying come out saying it's global warming, but they're saying here it's global warming times. It's like something else.
Is it because of all the trash that the black people throw in the street?
Couldn't be. Or what about the bullet shells from cartridges fired at somebody's mama's house at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, maybe a Wednesday? Mama got a day off, chilling with the grandbabies, and they spray the house. They riddle it with bullets while they were trying to watch the baby. Hit the baby. Wow. Nobody give a fuck. You know, we laughing to keep from crying because this is some sick shit.
I'm crying literally.
It's some sick shit. But anyway, I guess pollution is let me get my notes. I don't want to get too fast. So based off what I just read and what we're talking about, I think it's another reason to make black people feel like victims, because when people don't realize about victimhood is this. If you're a victim, it's not a good feeling. It's gonna make you very angry. And if the people that are making you be a victim, which are the what do you call them, the victors or not the victors, oppressors, yeah. So if you're mad at the oppressors, but you can't even get within 2 feet range of your oppressor, who will you take that anger out on? Them niggas around the corner. And it's just what it is. You ain't got nowhere to get that rage out, because you see, even the most hoodest of the hood, when they get out the hood and they start making some money, things hit different. They're not as violent. They're more on their money. And we got homies that's like that got a little bit out of the surroundings and moved around the city a little bit more and got about their neighborhood, and they on some getting money stuff. They still rep they set and everything, but their mindset is more so focused on getting money because they see the opportunity besides just shooting at the same people around the corner that you grew up with and went to middle school and elementary school with and all that other stuff over some damsel.
Some damsel in distress.
Over some trim.
Yeah.
Over some straight trim. You feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
That is that's a very valid point. A lot of beefs anyway start over a damsel in distress.
Come on, man.
But that's a very funny.
It's crazy. It's crazy as they said that, and I mean, yeah, let's talk about the whys.
Yeah, like why
it's pollution, right?
Yeah. So well, it's a lot of whys in this these things that she stated. So.
And it's a well-written article, Ivana. Don't take it. This is real good. You did a pretty good job of breaking this down, going through your points. I like the way you went through it and everything, but you ever lived in one of these neighborhoods?
Yeah, so that's an important an important question. So one of the most important questions, like, have you ever grew up in this environment? And when I say grew up in this environment, I don't mean like going to work or but have you lived in this environment
for years?
Yeah, for years.
Went
and it's
school.
Like I know a lot of people claim to have grew up in those environments, but they're not telling the truth. And
do you?
And I know because I grew up around people who didn't live.
And I'm from the east side.
No, you stay on the outskirts or
Yeah,
and like in every ghetto, in every hood community, also there's like the more upper suburban version of that community.
But they still get busy.
Yeah,
they still shoot
a little
you.
bit. No, not all of them. No, we got.
Not all. I mean, we got one.
No, we got more than one. We got
Which one?
so the one behind the firefighter museum. It's a neighborhood by the golf course.
Man, anything that's partner states in
Forest
Wildwood,
Park.
you can get shot.
Nah.
I almost got shot in Wildwood.
It is one part of Wildwood.
No, I almost got shot in Wildwood, so I'm gonna give that to the whole Wildwood.
Oh, you gotta give it to the whole.
I'm gonna give it to any.
Some
You,
parts.
you go into Wildwood messing around, you know what I'm saying? There's some people out there. You know, there's some people in every neighborhood.
Forest Park.
Okay, that's why I said the one.
No, the neighborhood by the golf course.
Okay, I didn't know that was black. So
Yeah, it's black.
that's okay. That's cool. There's two, but make no mistake. Parker States and Wildwood is some decent looking neighborhoods,
Yeah, we like the.
but it could go down real quick.
We are like the
Real quick.
the upper neighborhood of the east side.
But it could go down so quick.
It used to be like a suburb in like the 60s and 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Segregation.
so, yeah.
Segregation came through, and that's why the temperature's still hot. They trick black people. That's what segregation was. That's a new conspiracy. We done found it.
And you can still see remnants. You can say, I can see why this is the suburbs over there.
No, for sure.
Yeah. But it's now
Sure.
you can tell it's not suburbs anymore.
Man, I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a tangent.
Yeah.
Back to it. You know, and that's kind of going on what I was saying. Just why there's reasons for this. You know, this is true. Some of this stuff is true. Companies do put, dumps and warehouses in areas that's, not very rich. Why? Well, like she said in the article, the property cheap. But why is the property cheap? Because no one wants to live there and raise a family. That's why. They don't want to pay no money to live over there and be dealing with the things that come with living in a neighborhood like that. And it's just the reality. Is it right? Hey, I don't really know. I don't care.
You know what?
I'm just speaking on the facts.
And it's not because they're black.
And because it happens to whites as well.
Well, yeah, it happens. It's an economic thing.
It's just period.
And at the end of the day, it's like if you don't want to live there, you have to do what's necessary to get out of that situation because we live in a country where we can do anything. We are Americans. We can do anything.
I'm gonna tell you something. I really feel like this. If you in Florida, whatever, I forget what that town was, and you talking about something like that, you complain about money or something like that. When McDonald's was paying people to come out there and do an interview, like, I ain't trying to hear that. Now, this is be real. People don't want to work. They don't want to work to take the time to do what they have to do to clean the neighborhood up and keep their life on track. Maintaining a certain amount of money every year is challenging. It comes with stress. The more money you make, the more stress that comes with it. And some people just aren't willing to go that far for it
make certain sacrifices.
and maintain their sanctity while getting that bag.
But yeah.
Everybody want it easily.
Yeah, it ain't easy.
It ain't easy to maintain it. Anybody can make some money, but it's a challenge to maintain it. And shout out to all those who maintain it for over years. Like Kevin Samuel said, a high value man is a man who's able to sustain 6 figures for over 5 years.
Yeah.
Come on, that's a standard. You know what I'm saying? He ain't saying that you ain't nothing just because you haven't done it.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's have some standards out there. What's your standards? What are you living by? If you don't want much, you ain't gonna get much.
See, we live in a time where like the standards
it's getting lower.
Yeah, because they want to blur the line on what's the standard. Like, why should we have standards?
And that's what articles like this in the Yes magazine does.
No, we should have standards.
Like, let's just have some standards. If people in these neighborhoods say, you know what, we're gonna put our loot together and we're gonna come up with some type of co-op to start some type of business here to build this place up and keep this place clean. And, so it makes it more attractive for people to come in here and want to do business with us and make our property more valuable. You know what I'm saying? There are small towns where people have, taken it upon themselves to rebuild them towns. Guyman, Oklahoma is a perfect example. The Mexicans have moved down there, and over the past 20 years, they rebuilt that. Yeah. I repeat that. Over the past 20 years, they started this in 1999, where everybody else was capping and rapping.
In Guyman,
in Guyman, Oklahoma. They went to a small town and they did that. So shout out to them people, those special people in Guyman that saw that through and put that together, because that's a real beautiful thing to see people take advantage of the opportunities that America has to offer.
Oof,
that was deep,
man. It was,
but it's the real though. It's real.
Yeah.
They went out to Guyman and did their thing. Like, it's crazy. I can't even be nothing but just be happy for them. I'm really happy for them people that turned that town. They turned the town of Guyman around.
Country.
They turned the whole town around.
Yeah.
And we are complaining in the city with all the stuff, with all the resources. Like, y'all, we just got to get it together. It's all good. Eventually people will figure it out. And it's not saying you're bad people if you believe in this. I'm not saying you should go to jail, somebody should kill you, something like that, but let's ask why.
So in summary, what do you think? So is environmental a real thing, or is it an attempt to, make black people
It's an attempt.
feel like victims?
It's an attempt to make niggas feel like victims. Because let's be real, crime kills more people in the black community than anything we talk about.
Yeah, that's how. So in my 2 cents, that's how it feels like. I'll be lying and I'll be doing the injustice to the people I love so much by lying and saying that it's not black people out here killing each other. That's doing way much more harm. Way. It's not even comparison. It's like it's so unfair to compare. Like, cause I live in it. Like I literally live in it.
I lived in both. Yeah. And let me tell you something. Where I live at, there's no shootings.
There's shootings, bro.
It's not a ton of trash. It's not a lot of trash. Yeah. The yards are upkept. My wife is constantly on me about keeping up our yard for the simple fact we live in an area where people always keep their yard up, front and back. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the standard where we live at. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's what helps the community stay safe. It's what helps keep people, from coming in your community and committing crimes that, are killing the children and, taking your children from you. And, it seems like people don't want to accept that. And that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But let's just be real. The property is going to be worth more. People ain't shooting over there.
Yeah, in my environment, it's quite opposite. Like, even the kids notice there's a very large amount of trash in the street and people's grass and unmaintained yards. And then when I say unmaintained, I mean unmaintained. Like, some of them get chest high this summer. And it's just the start of the spring, so we'll get to see. And I don't like to document this stuff and post it, but I know it's real because I really live amongst it, and I've been living on the East. I've been living amongst my community for a very long time, and I wouldn't be doing any favors by lying because I want my community to be better.
Be better, yeah.
So as well as myself, I went through these same things. I had to make some changes in my own life.
I'm still making changes.
And I see,
every day.
Yeah. Man, but it's ridiculous and it's out of control.
Come on, man. I mean, I remember time I was rolling through my mom's neighborhood and rolling down, 30th and Phillips. And there was some older men in front of us. And, they pulled up to the stop sign and just threw a 40-ounce glass bottle of beer in somebody else's yard and drove off.
They did it in front of my crib the other day. Police talking, I said the other day, but it's like a month or two ago. Police doing like a check on the neighbors. And they're like, what can we do better for the community? Because all this police on, this beef
trying to do a better
job.
Trying to do a better job.
They trying to do a better job. So they coming through the neighborhood checking because, like I said, I stay in a black community. And so I'm just like, I'm like, oh, man, let me tell you, they stole the library in front of my house.
That's crazy.
They stole the bikes. They blah, blah, blah. They broke in my car.
They smoked that library.
And he was like, I was like, the drug dealers to moved out. But I'm like, nigga, they think I'm a snitch or whatever. But I'm just like, man, while I was talking to this guy, somebody came by and threw a bag of food trash out in front of the cop. Somebody came out and threw a bag of food out in the street. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is bold. Like, they don't even care if the police car in the street and we in my front yard talking. So it's just like, man, this is crazy. It's like you was bold enough to do this in front of the cops.
Where's your standards at? In my neighborhood, it's middle class, but there's some lower middle class apartments in that area. So, and they white folk, and they throw trash out there on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And, I pick up a lot of trash. When I used to walk my son to school, I had one of them claws. Yeah, and I would pick up trash in my neighborhood because of the, the standards that we have. If you don't have any standards for where you live, how can you expect to really earn big? How can you expect to have anything if you don't have any standards? You can't just be living your life loosely and expect to inherit abundances of wealth from the Lord.
Abundance.
I had to use that abundances, you know what I'm saying? But for real though, like, let's get some standards, man. Like, don't accept this stuff from people who don't live in your community, and don't lie. Don't lie.
So you guys let us know what you think about environmental racism. How do you feel about it? Have you been affected by environmental racism? And what are some solutions you have? for environmental racism, if any, if it's even a real thing.
And what was I supposed to say? Oh, yeah. Like, subscribe, share with your people. You know what I'm saying? And tune in next week because we'll have something more for y'all. And don't be mad. Be glad you've been exposed to the truth.
You feel me?
That was a good one. I can talk about
Sandwich with the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I have to pause. I know exactly how this ends.